evening, and welcome to After Dark, your bi-monthly late night chat and have fun thing. Tonight we have at the controls Commander or Commandeer Kevin.
Commodore.
As always, Drew and me from the Russell Camp, Fleet Captain John Rogers from XO of the USS Constellation, the comms peon Jeff, Colonel Richard Steele, OIC 10th Brigade, Aaron Poole of the Chicken Sandwich. Wait a minute. It's not chicken sandwich, it's the sandwich. Sorry.
They removed the chicken because I'm a vegetarian.
Well, you didn't have your ship name there for me to read. So.
I'm sorry.
And as always, our vampire across the street, John, and Jesse of the Andromeda. How's everybody doing?
Good.
So I know that Aaron wanted to talk about
thank you.
VIC, and I just got to watch the AMA that they did and thought it was really good. So if you enjoyed if you enjoyed the AMA, you're in for a treat when you see the rest of the work. I get to see the behind the scenes of what they've been working on, and let's just say they've got a couple great video production people, including Aaron.
Oh yeah, did you like that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have controls tonight, so I'm going to be calling out people. Hello all. If you are showing up, I can't click it. There's a couple people that are showing up as Facebook users. If you go to streamyards.com/Facebook, you can okay it so that we can see who we're talking to. So everybody that is in chat, Donnie, I'm hoping you're enjoying Comic-Con. And Fran, how you doing? And Eugene, how you doing? Other than that, I can't see the names yet. So, Aaron, if you want to take it away and you want to click the stream, or Kevin.
So, hi. I'm glad you brought that up about the little AMA style program. It wasn't an AMA though. It was called the VIC Info Report. We're going to be doing another one on the 31st, which is a Sunday. And we have a really special guest lined up for it. So I'm pretty excited about that. One thing that we've been working on that we're going to have is a live Q&A with all of the CS and VCS candidates. So if you want to ask them a question, I have forms everywhere, but you can also email me at aaron.usssandwich@gmail.com. If you email me, I'll send you the form, and then you can submit your questions to ask them. I'm going to moderate it, so I'll be asking the questions, but it looks like it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see how they do, and I had a meeting with them all on Tuesday, and they were all really friendly with each other. They all knew each other for a long time. They were all like very nice to each other, and it was kind of funny how much respect all of the people running actually have for each other. It was kind of cool to see. So I'm excited for that. We do, if you go to our website, it's sfi-vic at sfi-vic.com. Thank you. That's my husband. We have all of our guests listed, but we just got a new one that we're probably going to get that was kind of last minute, so we might have to work that in. And this is like a really big one from Discovery. Obviously not like one of the two main characters, but this one person has been in almost every single episode. So I'm pretty excited about that. Other than that, we're almost done with the video work. I think we'll be done by Sunday with all of our videos. So yeah, we're ready. On the 31st, we're gonna show some, sneak peeks. Tim Russ was very generous with us. Not only did he send us a full interview, but he sent us some of his work. So we have a music video that he sent us that's really cool. He sent us an acting reel that he did, and he also, what did he send? Oh, his personal space photography that he takes with his telescope, which is really, really cool. It kind of reminds me of the stuff that Mike Calhoun is doing with the stellar cartography. And if you don't know anything about stellar cartography, that's one of our auxiliaries. Definitely check them out. You can just do like a Facebook search for them, and you'll get to see all this amazing stuff that Mike Calhoun, who's the RC in Region 12, am I right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Anyway, you can see all the stuff he's doing. It's really cool. Also, Friday night, we're having a lot from our auxiliaries, and I'm really happy to say that the new tactical department will have some part in that, as well as the diplomatic corps. So that's all I got. Thank you for making my face so big.
So the VIC is looking for two more things too. They are looking for moderators.
Yes, please. We need moderators. We need to make sure that nobody does anything bad.
And we have a plan. There'll be 3 or 4 of us that will be the main people to be there for you to ask questions or report to. But we need people to be the eyes to watch things, because 3 or 4 people can't see everything going on.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to watch anyway, you'll be able to see the chat. You can very easily help me moderate. I'll give you the person that you contact. So all you got to do is watch the VIC, look at the chat. If you see something that's bad, tell one of us and we'll kick them out. That's all you have to do. It's really easy. But we definitely need more. We don't have nearly enough. I mean, I guess we can work with what we have if we have to, but I'd rather not. I have so much I have to do. I don't want to also have to moderate. I'd rather just do my work, and if somebody tells me something's going on, I can address it at that time. But if I have to, I'll do it. But please help me.
And the other thing that we're looking for is donations for the auction.
Yeah, and we have like 3 booths left in Gathertown. So if you're interested in a booth, you can purchase one. It's a $50 donation to the scholarship fund for SFI. But with that, you get a booth in Gathertown, and you can be listed as one of our sponsors on the website as well. So you do get some exposure from it. And not to mention, in this booth, it's not like you just have a booth like with your banner on it. You can man it and sit there and talk to people, and people can come up to you and both of your cameras come on, kind of like what you see how we are here. These cameras come on and you can interact with each other and hear each other. But also there'll be a computer screen set up that'll link to like a website. So if you're interested, it's actually a really cool thing. And all the proceeds go to the scholarship fund. So it's a good cause, and since the IC is free, we definitely need donations. So you can buy a booth. We have a couple left, or you can just donate an item that's valued at like $50 or more, and we'll give you a booth. Or you can just donate something. The auction's going to go on for a full week. It's going to start the Saturday before the VIC, and it's going to conclude at the conclusion of the VIC. So it'll be pretty competitive. I did post some artwork that we're going to be selling, but I also have something that I'm donating personally. Chris, can you get my donation over here? Well, show me this hanger first. Yeah. So it's actually a full size steel batleth. It's really heavy. It's from my personal collection. I have a few that I have a blacksmith out of Vancouver make me. So this is the hanger that goes on the wall. You screw this into the wall, and then the batleth will rest here. And then, if I want to stab my husband, here is the beautiful batleth. You can see how thick the steel is, kind of heavy. I don't know if you can hear that. This is a sword, is what it is. It's like a real batleth. So that's going to be one of the items that I'm donating for the auction. So if you have anything you can donate, it doesn't have to be significant like that. It can be art. Um, Christine at a Region 1, right? Where's Christine located? Do you remember? Oh, she's in New Mexico. I'm sorry. She donated us all this great stuff. She's an artist. She donated us this paintings of sailboats, a whole book of them that she did, and a bunch of other stuff. There's postcards, and then there are like these Doctor Who stickers, Minion stickers. It's super awesome. I'm kind of excited to see how we package this, but yeah, we need more donations. So if you guys have anything, like, definitely let me know. I'm interested. Um, Also, if you email me to let me know that, let me know like where you are, like what country you are, so we can kind of calculate what shipping will be. Otherwise, that's all I got. Is that everything, Sean? Did I miss anything? Sorry, I'm a little sleepy.
Donations. Uh, um, uh, yeah, I'm tired too, but I think that's the main thing. Now, somebody said that they're going to be camping. Here's the best thing about the virtual IC. You're going to be able to watch the videos on the website and on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, so I know I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. So after we have most of the program except for the live stuff. We already have it put together. So 1 hour after something airs, it's going to be on the website. You can just go to our website and you can watch all of the programs about an hour after they end for most of them. So if you're like in a different time zone and it's not really compatible with your schedule, that's fine. You can watch it when you get up in the morning or the next day or a week from then or a month. Like, all that stuff will be available. As it stands right now, we have what, like 30 programs, maybe more. Like, we have a lot of stuff. 30 is a good. I was looking at my husband to guess. That's a good guess. I mean, I could go into the Google Drive and count, but it's crazy how much content we have. Everybody contributed, especially the regions. I know Richard's sitting here. I got a great contribution from his region. I mean, it's fabulous. I love it. Thank you.
Now, I'm going to say Lynn needs to be put in charge of PR because that woman went from getting greetings to getting full interviews with people.
Well, that was her. That was her task.
And I'm talking about the amount that she's gotten
Yeah.
makes some of the Comic Cons look small.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the website, look at our guest list, and like I said, we're adding one more that's a big name that'll be up on that top row. They're so big, and I mean, Tim Russ was a good one. His interview is so good. But Lynn also, one of the guests that we have, Lynn, who he was just mentioning, was her high school drama teacher. So when she interviewed her, they went back to the high school where, she did her first stage productions, and they had a full setup of like lights, chairs. It looks like it's inside the actor's studio. It's beautiful. They're like, it was done with like the 3 camera angles, like inside the actor's studio. So it's a beautiful piece. Lynn's awesome. She's a rock star. I love her. She was also a bridesmaid in my wedding. That's how much I love her. And how giving she is and willing to do stuff for people.
But like I said, there's some very artistic people that have added stuff. There's talented people that I couldn't do it. I tell you what, Crispy Sandwich, that man is working 24 hours a day trying to add stuff to Gather Town or fix a website or edit something. So
I think the most interesting part about my husband is that he is super talented, but he's always he never gets recognition because he's always helping me with my projects. So he never gets recognized or big pockets.
So I got to say, I get to sit back and, I get to contribute a little bit as far as the After Dark part of it, but when I get to see there and see some of the stuff that these people are doing, even Jerry's sitting there video editing right now,
Yeah,
or he's been video editing all day, and
yeah, he is. He's doing a good job. He didn't know what he was doing, or so he said. A little bit of a learning curve, but I arranged the. Right now, we're working on the RC greetings. So most regional coordinators sent me a video greeting. So right now, those aren't edited. They need edited because some people shot them in portrait mode. So we have to do work to make them landscape mode. So we have to go in and like layer them to fix them. And I did one today. I never did one before, and it was easy. So Jerry's learning curve, he never did it before either, but he figured it out. And now he's just banging them out. I mean, Jerry's
but
awesome.
Jerry just came on to be the VIC, or no, the EC's
Yeah.
spokesperson basically in the group.
Yeah. So
And,
he's the EC's liaison for the IC. That kind of came after he started working on our staff, but I couldn't think of anybody better to do it. Jerry's awesome.
but he went from that to running meetings when Aaron's not available to being a video editor. So there's some people on it that in the background, when you get to see this stuff, you see what's going to be like 30 hours worth of programming, but there's a handful that have been working 30, 60, 90 hours to make it so that y'all will have that.
Just to put this in perspective, for the last several weeks, on Sundays, I work on the VIC project all day. When I say all day, I have an 8 a.m. meeting. I work all day until the 8 p.m. meeting, and then I do a few things after that. So it's usually until like 9 or 10 at night. So that's like a 14-hour day just working on the VIC. Last Saturday, I think I did like 10 hours. And then every weeknight evening, I'm doing 3 or 4 hours worth of work. So like we're all working and working and working to get this done, but the stuff that we've accomplished is so amazing. It makes it worth it. And honestly, this is what I want Starfleet to have. I want them to have a beautiful program, and this is the only way to get it done, and I'm happy to do it.
So here's a Gather Town challenge for everybody. Find all, not just one, find all the NPCs that have been made and placed and describe the setting.
There's actually a scavenger hunt in development right now for Gather Town.
So,
and if you complete it, you get a prize.
Is Tuflix still in there?
We never had Tuvix in there. We have Neelix in there.
Somebody made them, though. Was it your husband or was it Ed that made them?
No, I think it was probably Randy Mitson, who we didn't mention at all. Randy's awesome. He's the one who did our website. He does like little Gather Town images for me if I need them. Like Randy's really, really talented. I think it was Randy, and I thought it creeped me out, so I didn't use it. But there's Boothby's hidden in there. There's a Deanna Troy cellular peptide cake hidden in there. There's I just put little Trek things hidden everywhere. There's a 10 forward Hollow Suite with Guinan as the bartender. So lots of Trek stuff. Anyway, I love talking about the VIC, but I got to go to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, that way everybody gets a lot of information. Now, sleep well. Now, Kevin.
Yes.
Starfleet Tactical. And something popped up in the Starfleet Tactical Discord today that was an awesome deal if you're into role-playing games like D&D which
Mhm.
I'm a person that loves that role playing, and I watched. If you ask Jesse on his Discord, we have a list of 4 live role play podcasts. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So today, Humble Bumble popped in for the next 19 days. You can get a 32 different PDFs. And if you play any of these role playing games, you know they charge you the same amount for a PDF as the book. If it's $29 for the book, you're paying $29 for the PDF normally on these role playing things. So on Humble Bumble right now, the Starfleet Adventures 32 different PDFs, which include the core rule books and all the auxiliary stuff, about a $400 value that basically you make a donation of at least $30 and you get the whole suite. So if your chapter wants to start role playing Starfleet Adventures for as little as $30, you can get everything you need to start doing that. And it goes to a part of the proceeds go to a charity. So check it out, humblebumble.com, and look for the Starfleet Adventures if that's what you're looking for. I'm trying to pass on deals that I'm finding. Like I posted on our 3D printer. There's a 15% off sale refurbished printers and also some clearance priced ones that if you're getting into 3D printing, you might want to check out. But like I said, this particular one was specifically Star Trek. So you can't beat $30 for a $400 set of gaming tools to get your chapter going, or even your personal library, which I'm going to be doing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, any news from anybody else before we just shoot the breeze?
I, for one, am looking forward to the VIC this year. A lot of talent out there putting it together, and well, there's a lot going on, so don't miss it.
Yeah, like I said, this planning's been going on for 6 months, so it's not like, hey, we're going to throw a VIC and next month it's all, program.
Like last year when we had, 3 weeks to put it together.
Right. It's a big production. So, like I said, I've gone to a couple cons and the amount of guests we have for this makes those cons pale in comparison to the guests. So definitely got to check it out. Oh, and that's the other thing. There'll be a Marine Corps muster. Right? Richard? You're muted. Richard, you're muted.
Right, because I didn't want to interrupt Aaron. I didn't want to get a bat left in the mail. Yeah, there's going to be we always have one. And we'll have the Marine of the Year for the various kinds of, that's when we'll get the honor awards will be given out during that muster. So for those of you in various regions who got the Valor Award, that you're on that short list for getting the honor award. So you never know, you're getting stuff. Not me.
mistaken, the muster is going to be Saturday afternoon.
I think that's what I heard.
So
the person who best could answer that is not you. Just left, right?
yeah, I know. They're actually going to be working on the schedule this week, so I'm sure they'll be posting a schedule so that we'll know firmly what's going on. I know Friday night is going to be an auxiliary night, so basically what that means is all the auxiliaries that submitted different stuff are actually going to be highlighted so that you can see what's going on within the auxiliaries. You know, we have a lot to do, and I've seen a few posts over the year. What is it? A year and a half now?
Yeah.
A year and a half I've been here, and there's been people post that there's nothing to do. And I sat there and went, wait, there's this, that, and the other. And the person goes, really? I didn't know about that. And I'm like, you're a ship's captain. How do you not know about this?
Well, it vastly depends on how communication has not always been the strong point of various sub-departments in our organization. I can remember very specifically, if you'd like to pick one example, when we were doing the Christmas clash with CAG, with the Toys for Tots and the food drive thing. We've been doing it for 2 weeks before I heard about it.
Yeah, and I heard about it on After Dark.
Yeah, and I think that's where I picked it up too. Was I was on an episode of After Dark, and somebody was
we all discovered it at the same time.
Here's the sad part:
wait,
we're
what?
both members of CAG. So guess what? I didn't hear about it from either group. So,
well, I mean, fair, but I mean that was definitely one of those things because we were like we were behind the ball, so it wasn't easy for us to pick it up and go, all right, well, now we're going to do it. In fact, we had to pass policy in January about, okay, we are going to handle these things during these kinds of events in this manner for the organization, because we were just like, nope, we're not. If members do it, they submit their records to the group, and then we'll submit it to the proper organization within our group for tracking. But it's one of those things of we're not physically going to verify every single thing, for example, because it was just like we basically had to drop it because we just didn't have a way to organize it in the time that we were sort of given. So I get it if a captain didn't know about a particular subgroup or what that particular subgroup is doing or was doing, or because we've had a couple go like in and out, right, where they've been founded, created for the purpose, and then for whatever reason there's been a disagreement or something, and then they faded out, or they've been shifted. I mean, sometimes the organization is not super good. Like, for example, special operations is something I never hear about. I know we have it.
For anyone in that position, the SFDPP 2223
was released 2 days ago.
Earlier today was still up and ready to take. But beware, whole new manual is blocked out differently. So if you need it, get it.
Yeah, no, and I got an email from my RC too about that. So
I just knew it was due. I think it was due until yesterday on the 6th of next month, and I wanted it done early so there was an overlap.
So, yeah,
the end of the month.
that's definitely a thing. Everybody that got certified originally, it's that time of year again, and Jill just finished it and announced it. So
Yep.
please start working on it. If you have trouble with it and you need a little bit of help, like maybe you don't understand the wording or whatever, contact one of us.
Yeah, reach out.
Because we want all the contact your RC to say, hey, can you explain it? Or even just contact one of us, because we want everybody to get certified and not have any problems.
We are one fleet. We should work together.
Agreed.
Now, Kevin, I sent you a photo and an email address. An author who is aboard the USS Avenger. That's the book she wrote.
Okay.
Remember correctly, it's $35. Well worth it, and I guarantee you it is an awesome read.
Be right back.
I got mine.
I have to admit that until you sit down and try and do work on a video or doing video editing or that kind of thing, you really can't appreciate how long it takes to get even a small amount of video done.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
I spent 10 hours doing just the visuals. So, like, another member of the crew, Commander Patrick. I'm just gonna call him Commander Patrick because his last name escapes me right now. Like he did the vocal, he did the scripting, it got approved, and then he did the actual vocals. And then I had to come in later and overlay a thing. And I spent 10 hours getting images, setting up graphics, putting in text. It was amazing. And I was doing something relatively simple that I didn't need to also do effects with.
Yeah.
It's still like 10 hours worth of work. Because someone didn't give me the audio until like the day before.
Hey, Kevin, if you want to change browsers, you can.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got
okay.
it.
I hope everybody enjoys it, though. I mean, it'll be fairly obvious.
If you had anything to do with it, Rich, it's going to be awesome. We already know it.
Hey, I mean, Aaron was saying good things about it. I mean, it must have some impression.
Oh, you're a very meticulous individual. I'm sure it's absolutely incredible.
Hey,
I just had to kick myself because I had to fix something after the fact. So Lynn had to pick up a copy, and then I had to send her an email the next day going, "Hey, you know that thing? Yeah, there's a small error. So here's the new one."
Yeah, well, you have the gift and the talent that allows you to be spot on when you have become satisfied with what you've done.
I'm glad our RC caught it, because it would have been really embarrassing if it had gone through.
Well, as long as it wasn't standard marine behavior, you wouldn't have anything to worry about. This would be like running into the mud and the nude and stuff like that. So,
you can to answer this question, Eugene, you can retake it immediately after. The only thing with failing it is you won't get that special honorific of what's it called?
Distinction
Distinction levels.
yeah, I did honors first time through, and I said, okay, I'm not going to mess with it. I don't want.
Yeah,
It's more of a thing of you take it and you take it once.
Yeah.
So
read the manual first at least once before you hit it.
But the one thing, it is an open book test. And most of it, the last time I took it, I basically had the document in front of me and it went almost in order. So you didn't have to look around for it and go, where is this at? It was like right there. So,
Well, this time around, they also have things in the member handbook.
yeah.
There's crossover information
Cool.
from the membership handbook.
And I love the fact that Tim knows this and has never updated his StreamYard.com/Facebook. And I almost think that all the Facebook users are Tim.
Think it might be Tim.
Yeah, I think sometimes Eric thinks he's the only one on there. Our head of media services.
So Steve apologizes. He is out with his oldest daughter. They haven't gotten to hang out for a while. So he apologized. He just sent a message. We promise he will be back. We are working on some changes coming up with Kevin. That was one of the things that we were doing. And fortunately,
All good things. All very good things.
how is the database? Yeah, the database is stored at your house, Tim.
Didn't you get the emails? Because you're supposed to be putting it all in.
But and since you're replying, why don't you join the chat?
Yeah, Tim.
Don't make me get out little Tim. But me, Kevin, and Drew were talking about this, and me, Kevin, and Steve talked in the middle of the night while I'm at work. We are looking. Soon we'll be changing from StreamYard, and
Little Tim.
After Dark will be actually a production of spacedock.com.
Spacedock.earth.
.earth. Sorry, had to get the right thing. And we'll be working on some production changing to add a podcast feature for those that just want to listen as a podcast. And I know Kevin's got some shows coming up, that news shows that he'll be doing also. So look for that in the next few months.
That's a cheap excuse, Tim.
He's driving for Uber. Are you sure you're not in an Uber?
Bring your client in. Introduce him to SFI.
But
We'll be nice.
one of the things I know that next time we do a con that I would love to do, that I wish that I had done it, is record recruiting a different way, where you work together as a team, not necessarily one ship, but it worked really interesting of seeing multiple chapters work together and be able to have the people go, man, I'd like to join your ship, or I'd like to join your ship. And it wasn't the ship itself looking to pick it up. It was another ship going, hey,
The team.
you'll fit in this group, and they actually worked out that way.
And we owe the ability to test that whole system out to Jessica.
Actually, I'll comment on that, on the recruiting idea at conventions. I just was at a small convention just recently with one chapter, but we decided that we were not going to recruit as the chapter. We were just going to recruit for Starfleet and not even the region. So there are some very excellent maps that are available through SFI. They're just colored maps that each region is a different color, and then there's little tiny ships that are placed on top of where every chapter is. And we blew one of those things up to, full poster size. Just had it laying on the table with a bunch of other stuff. and people coming through the convention really took an interest in that map. So that brought them over, and at a convention where they typically only got, maybe 5 or 6 email addresses to send out, we pulled in 29 email addresses, and there was only like 400 people at that convention.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so it was a good percentage for drawing that in. And those people were not just from the region, but they were from, neighboring states that are into other regions. And when I emailed those people, I sent them, links to SFI mainly, but I kind of looked at if they gave me like where they were from, because some of them put the city and state. I kind of actually looked to see if there was a chapter near them, and gave them information on that. And I think it's a lot better if we're recruiting um, as a whole and recruiting for the organization. And if we get new members in a chapter, hey, that's great. But if we don't, you know, if they join a different chapter, it's still a plus. It's an add to our members.
The other nice thing about doing it as you're recruiting as part of the organization allows you to have a little bit more fun. Like, especially if you got 3 or 4 chapters there, you can play with each other. It's not like, hey, we're by ourselves. You actually show a little bit more of the fun and
The camaraderie.
Thank you.
You get to see the communication between us. You get to see the fact that we want to have fun together. We want to do things together. So, but then again, we owe Jesse Taggart a big thank you for that opportunity.
I just passed along the info and reached out, and it all came together.
And Mike Donnelly in chat, he was one of the people, came from the Earnhardt from Winter Haven with us. So we got 2 chapters here, and we had 2 chapters from the same place go out to join Jesse and his Andromeda with Jessica, and then
Mark from the Victorias
Mark
was there. We had some fun. We
and
got
then
to talk, chat, share ideas, concepts.
another chapter just came and hung out.
Yeah.
So we actually had almost all but 1 chapter in Central Florida within an area at a con 2 hours south of our area. So it was pretty amazing to have that many groups in one spot. So Jesse did a great job getting people together.
Yeah, it's awesome when you can get people together, and it makes things go a lot faster. The time goes by a lot faster. You're not just sitting behind a table and trying to lure people over as they're passing you by. But can you shoot my screen up big real quick?
Hold on.
Okay, so
You'll need to get rid of the background.
yeah, let me turn off the green screen. Okay, so this right here, this is a big help. I just got one of these plastic sign holders at an office store for like $4, and I printed out just something like this, and you can get a QR code for your region website, which I felt that was best to do that. You can get that for free and have it pointed to your region website. And we got, well, I think it was 8 or 9 people just snapped a shot of that QR code because I can see the stats whenever I log into it. If anyone wants to know about getting QR codes and pointing them to websites and that, you can just shoot me an email and I'll help you out.
Here's another. We're going to do another example. We had all the QR codes for all the ships plus SFI, but we had a banner with all the ships.
That was there.
That one's missing one.
This one's missing the
Ventura.
Victorious, the other one.
Yeah.
But all 5 chapters did show up in one way or another.
And we actually made the QR codes for the whole group. So we had one for SFI as a whole. We had the Haven, we had the Victorious, had the Andromeda, had Ironheart, and had the Russell Camp QR codes laying out on the table so that anybody could pick it up.
With their logos. We actually had the logo for what it was. You might not be able to see it very well, but
Yeah, you need to get closer.
the QR codes with
You can see it fine. Don't stop looking at that. You're fine.
that.
Go. Next.
The Haven. Andromeda.
Click. Victorious.
Victorious.
Okay. I think that's all.
And the one that we don't have here, but I've misplaced it and reorganizing, is the Amelia Earhart. But we have them all.
So the one goal we're planning on doing is that banner is eventually going to have every ship within the Florida region as we get to know the ship's captains. So what we want to do is actually start pulling everybody together, have all the banners, and then have those QR codes so that people can, as Kevin said, they can just scan it and go directly to the Facebook page or website.
I find it very, very interesting in Starfleet that we are an organization that is, we're fans of a show that has technology that is so far advanced of what we have right now. But yet, as an organization, we tend to fear technology and not use it to our advantage. There's so many chapters and regions and stuff that don't use a simple QR code that is,
Right.
a fast way that people can just pull their phone out, snap it, and it's done. And they've got the website or wherever you're going to, and you get people to join that way. But for some reason, I don't understand why. I know that a lot of us are getting older in that, but we got to keep up with the technology if we want to get the younger people in.
Right. I do have a question for you, Kevin. Can you send me the map with the little ships and everything all over?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I got it. I don't remember where I found it. I found it on one of the Facebook groups.
I have found one or two little areas, but not the entire map.
Well, I've got the world map. I've got the U.S. map, and there's a third one. I think I don't remember what it is.
Well, if you have them,
They used to have a map on the old SFI.org page with all the information for all the chapters everywhere in the world. They don't have it anymore. We need to put that back.
We don't have a representative of Region 5 on right now, right?
Carol, you don't need a smartphone. You just need to be smart. And you are a very brilliant woman. There's no reason for you to not.
Oh yeah.
So
Hey, how can I share my screen real quick?
click share screen.
Down at the bottom of the browser, one of your options will be share screen.
Okay, there we go. I got it. Throw this up big real quick. Can you guys see the map?
Oh yeah.
This is what I had out, and we had blown it up to poster size. It's got all the little ships on it. It's actually even got like little tiny stations and stuff, like little space docks or whatever.
Yeah, the stations and ships are all on it. I've seen like Region 2, and I saw uh, Region 1, and I can't remember the other one. One is in Europe, but those are the only three I've seen. They look really small.
Right. But all I did was put, the Region 1 logo and then an arrow pointing to it. And I put the text at the bottom. And, I thought it looked great, and we printed it. The funny thing was that Office Max printed it. I went and picked it up, and I brought it home before the convention, and I went to show somebody, and it had a footprint on it, like down over top of Florida, actually, guys. And I called them up and I said, "Hey, this isn't right." And they said, "Well, we'll reprint it for you." But I did manage to get the footprint off. Just being very careful to not wipe any of the ink in that off.
Right.
But that was it was funny to do that, and so I ended up with two of the doggone things. But
that's what I've been looking for to lay on a table.
So
Yeah.
It looks excellent, Kevin.
What's that?
I said I said that looks excellent.
Oh, thank you.
There's a YouTuber called MCSPIL. She's a member of Starfleet and did a nice, amazing 6 months ago video that is what is Starfleet International.
Right.
And it went over everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl, if anybody knows her in Region 5, please let her know that we would love to have her on to talk about her little ad for Starfleet.
Yes.
So, like I said, if you look up Starfleet International, MC Spill will come up, and it's the perfect what is Starfleet, because she didn't limit it to the fan group thing. She went for the whole everything about Starfleet. And I think that would be a nice thing that she definitely needs to be recognized. And she's on the Antares, I believe, in Region 5. So if anybody knows her, we got a couple people watching. Let her know that we're pretty impressed with that.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of technology, people that have YouTube put together a video, and then you can put that up running at your booth as a little recruitment video, and it's I think 10 minutes or something. Stupid. I think it's like 10 minutes, so it would be the perfect video to just loop. And this is no, it's 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, so 4 minutes and 25 seconds. That you could have something like that at your booth that you could put together with your members too. So, like I said, MC space SPIL. So anybody on the Antares or knows the members of the Antares, like I said, pass the word.
Hey, who was it here that wanted a copy of that map?
It was Drew.
True.
Drew? Okay.
It was Drew.
Drew, I'll send that to you.
You want my email address?
I'll get it from you later. I think I have it.
I think so too.
I
At
just
least
added
twice.
I just added you to my to-do list to send it to you. So
I just sent you on Messenger.
okay.
I have at least 4 emails from you, so
Yeah.
you have to have it. And that's just from trying to assemble all of the ins and outs for engineering,
Right.
which may be expanded on and given a green light.
Well, I know pretty much from what I've heard, it's going to get the green light and it's going to expand. So
I'm in the process of doing a manual right now. So
right.
By the way, that's me, not Steve, that posted that. But that's how you find that particular
video.
promo. And I know Ed saw it because he commented on it. So, like I said, when I watched it, I saw Ed's, and it was the basic fan, something you do like a 30-second clip on a commercial. But this gave a lot of details, and like I said, it's better to have people internal recognized for what they're doing so that everybody can be
Absolutely.
You do something and then nobody sees it, you don't know if it was worth doing,
Or nobody comments,
so
which is the standard. Somebody want to vote John? Right on the shoulder.
Did he hear it? Is he going to hear it? Is the question.
wait, is he asleep without drinking for once?
Probably not.
Yep, this is the first. Normally,
Hey, John. Yeah,
Rogers,
I hope
front and
he's all
center.
right.
Well, he's breathing.
it is moving.
I got accused of doing that once, if I remember right. Falling asleep.
Well, you weren't accused, Jeff. You're guilty.
Oh,
There are about 10 of us
okay.
watching, so I'll send you the video if you'd like.
I would like that. You don't have to show it here, mind you.
No, I'll just send it to you. It's on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Remember,
I can look it up then.
That's okay. They got me the one right after my surgery, and
Oh,
chest was hurting. I'm sitting there loving it, thinking, "Oh God, I'm gonna."
oh wow! You should have seen one time. I was on the phone with Eric Johansson, who lives in Canada, and we were on. We used Skype, and I was saying, you know what? I feel like I need to go take a nap, and I'm not more than 2 minutes later. I was asleep. I woke up and I realized what happened. He had hung up long ago.
When the show was over, Sean looked at me and said, "You need to go to bed. You're looking a little red." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, I got.
Oh well.
You need some cornmeal right
Well,
now?
I understand there's a convention going on in San Diego this weekend. We heard any news from them?
What century are we going to do this?
Hello, Fran. It's good to see you, and I'll try to get around to calling you this week. Maybe after Sunday or so. Oh, by the way, I wanted to wish everybody that has a birthday today a happy birthday, especially one I know very well, Vice Admiral Karen Higdon, caught up with me today in age, So happy at my wife of 43. It'll be 43 years this November. We've been married. Yeah, it is 43 years this November, and well, happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday, Karen.
She's in the other room, sleeping like I should be. I won't go to bed in a little while though. Thank you, Fran. We're we got the VIC coming up. We got a lot of good things going on. The EC is going to be very busy, along with the AB, I understand, next in about a week or two, as we will hold our ECAB meeting sometime in the next few weeks. And you'll hear about it, I'm sure, at the VIC.
Region 1 has a summit coming up.
Yep. Isn't it shortly after
Like
the VIC?
1 or 2 weeks after.
Is it a virtual one or is it being held in its usual spot?
Usual spot.
No, okay.
Not to mention the election right in the middle.
Right.
I don't know if it's the exact same spot, but it's
Yeah, in the
same
general area. Yeah. Yeah, I once was registered to go to the Region 1 when I lived in Region 1. But something came up that prevented me from going to it that weekend, so an family emergency. So I didn't get to go. I always meant to go back, but by the time I wanted to go again, I moved to Region 12 in the top O, Illinois. As many of you know, Rockford is right between Chicago and the Mississippi River, about 18 miles south of the Wisconsin border. So that's quite a distance between Henderson, Tennessee, where the Shiloh was launched from, and the Black Hawk took over. About 780 miles, I believe. 11-hour trip.
Oh, that's just a small trip.
We're all just staying out of trouble, friends.
And notice Christopher Higdon going behind my back, trying to get to his room. So every time he goes by me, he reminds me of the rank he has. I go, wow.
What's his rank?
Commodore.
Ah.
So
that young man needs a 3D printer, so he's got a hobby.
not this young man. We just gave him a television in his room. And he's buying up things he shouldn't be buying up.
Oh my goodness, a television.
Well,
he's moving up.
Yeah, everybody can hear you. He's sharpening. I got sharpened pencil sharpener up there. He loves. One day I'll have to feature these drawings. He has some of the greatest wars with stick figures in the universe. Coming from Star Wars, Star Trek, DS9, Babylon 5. And they're all stick figures. So that's mostly what he does. He also keeps track of football. He loves football.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you. So we got everything going on. Any chatting going on? No, not yet. We're coming past we're past the 1 hour mark here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
So
What kind of chatting do you want to get into, Fran?
yes, Fran. I'm trying to do some chatting myself.
Should I be putting up the thing that says, 18 plus already, or since we're all been behaving ourselves?
Oh yeah, and remember, end of the month we'll be having the CQ released for this period. It was extended uh, due to the election, so you'll be seeing some ads from each of the candidates page, and also some other things such as a tribute to Dennis Rayburn and TJ Feldman, who are both valued members of the communications department and of Starfleet. I think we saw how valuable Dennis was to our fleet, the association as a whole, uh, in his memorial service a couple of weeks ago. Several of you attended that, so I'm grateful for it. And also, I know Jill was grateful for it.
We were in the middle of a Special Olympics event and could not.
Oh, that's right, you were.
So
Mm-hmm.
we sent our condolences and wishes to Jill and personally, but it's a hard time for her. We all need to keep her in our thoughts for a positive.
But it looks like she's keeping busy. She got the SDP,
Yep.
the SFDPP ready 2023. Technically, it's the same, maybe the same test, but it's
there
a
has
different
been plenty
format,
of time to
different
do the
level
SFDPP
stuff.
100.
I haven't seen it yet. So I will see it in the next week, this weekend. I'm going to take it this weekend.
Yeah, I took mine yesterday.
Yeah, it's morning.
Yeah, I just found out about it when something popped up in my email saying Larry French, my executive officer, had taken it. And I said, I knew about it coming out, but I didn't know when. So it's been out for a day now?
Yep.
2 days.
2 days. It came out basically right before midnight 2 days ago.
Well, kudos to Jill and the team that put it together, really.
Absolutely.
That is a hard subject to do, and even a harder thing to take.
There's an awful lot of correlation. There's a new manual, a little more plain English version of the manual, which makes a heck of a lot more sense.
Yeah,
and there's some correlation with the membership manual handbook. So, I would advise whoever's taking it to read the SFDPP manual.
That's
first.
right.
Even though it's an open book test, it's always best to read it and at least have a basic idea what you're going to be looking at.
Can you put Carol's message up there for a few minutes? Because I think that's important. The retaking is with upgraded new regs and clarified. There are several regs, including the one that affected me directly. Even though I am a candidate, I was no longer the election coordinator. That now belongs to the Inspector General Stephen Stock, officially, and it's in the new handbook that's coming out by the VIC, from what I've understood. Other regs, other things that affect everybody in the fleet. Even you, Jesse.
I personally believe that everyone in
there.
the fleet, whether they take the test or not, should at least read the manual and understand some of the the rest of us, those of us who do have to take it, have to deal with as far as information is concerned. Because I'm sure we all at least once said, "Hey, just give me their email address and I'll." No, I can't do that.
No.
Next time you see them, you ask them.
So that's the other thing I'd like to do, Jesse.
Yeah.
Is get with the old CO and sit down and actually get them through it.
Yes. Yep. I'm actually gonna see him next weekend. We are doing a panel for Tampa Bay Comic Con.
Nice.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Star Trek Then and Now. And then he's also organizing the Star Trek meetup and photo op for the convention.
It sounds great. Any special guests we should know about?
Well, you might have heard of them, William Shatner and Gates McFadden.
Those are two fantastic guests.
If I had the money, I'd be going, but I don't.
Yeah, we're not doing anything like official with the chapter, but we got a couple members that said they're going to be out there, so we're going to do our own little mini meetup as well.
Yeah.
Well, I should look at a day pass and show up.
So
I need to look into what we're going to do at Chicago Comic Con coming up in August, in the middle of August. So I'll have to look into that.
You might want to move a little to your left, Jesse. If John falls, he's going right on top of you.
you must be muted, Kevin. I know you're talking.
Sorry about that.
There he is. Welcome back.
Since we're talking about SFDPP, I released to the AB and also to Jill a spreadsheet that chapters could also use it that tracks the SFDPP certifications for the people that you have. And what's really nice about it is once you put the information in, every time you open it, it refreshes and compares their date to today's date. Every time you refresh that sheet or open it. And it says right on the end, in green letters, it says that they're good, or it says in yellow letters they're grace, and then it says in red letters expired. So if any chapters need that sheet, they can just message me, and I'll send it to them. It turned out to be a really good tool for Region 1 because all you have to do is open it up at any time and it refreshes, and then you just go down the list and look for the yellow ones and email those people and say, hey, you're in your grace period. And if it's not that, if it's grace period, if they're red, you know that they're in trouble.
That's right. And remember, there is there is that grace period that you got from the time you've taken it. Its expiration date. By the time you should know when you have to take it.
You can take it a month before your expiration. My expiration happens to be March, so I took it, April. I took it in March. So next year I'll take it in February. Eventually I'll catch up to y'all.
Yeah, and then the grace period, I believe, according to my spreadsheet, I put in 3 months or 90 days. So that's
I think it's only 30.
We were using last time.
No, I think it's 30 now.
It's 30 now. Well, I can
Pretty
change
sure
that
it's
on the spreadsheet
What,
easily.
questions? It's 40 questions.
No,
No, it's 30 days, the grace period.
Now this con,
Ooh,
the bar
Jesse
con,
just
Bragger.
Mine's not due until December, though.
I need to take my recertification in the next few days. So I was just looking at my database information. So
cool.
so like I said, when you get it, remember send it to your CO.
SFI, by the way.
because if you're not the CEO, they need to have access to that. To if anybody ever questions the ship, hey, here's what we got. Then they have a copy of it if the database breaks again.
Well, usually the CO gets a message from the academy
Yes.
on what you have taken.
That's why
Like I mentioned, Larry, and just a little bit ago, I got a message from the academy, and I'm going to see if I can get it here because it goes to my chapter thing here, and yeah, it says you received honors for the SFDPP 2022-23 Data Protection Recertification. That's the word that I got. Now, he might want to send me a copy of the actual certificate, but this should do as well for you as the CEO to know that they have taken.
So what Carol says is, I guess they got a built-in tracker now, and any COs that want to keep track of it should contact Kevin on Facebook to get his one and actually keep track. That way,
Kevin just mentioned.
Yeah,
he said he sent it to them.
mine was actually
all the vice chiefs. All the vice chiefs have to take it too. EC, vice chiefs in the thing, chiefs of staff, anybody that has access to the database should have the SFDPP. I would say if you can get on the database, you should take it. But I know Joe Member doesn't need it because they don't have access to all the things that the region coordinators have, the commanding officers have, the OICs of brigades.
I'm going to say this, Jeff.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, there's a lot of stuff that's covered in SFDPP that a normal member has access to through the search feature that you don't realize.
Yeah,
so,
True.
That's enough to say you do need to take it, but there's a lot of people aren't gonna take it, and they need at least the access to their information,
That's
which
why
is on the
I
SFDPP.
That's why I said if you don't take it, at least read it. Learn to understand the limits.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. That's what your
Absolutely
commanding officers, your region coordinators, even the EC members are for.
Right.
And remember what Jeff said. If you are just a crew member on a ship and you take it, you should make sure that your command team gets a copy of it and knows that. And if you're a command team, you need to make sure there's probably somebody on your region staff that is tracking the command teams. For Region 1, that is the chief of staff. And all command teams are supposed to send in the certificates, and the region actually keeps a file on a Google Drive with all those certificates in so that we can reference them if the database goes down.
And Kevin, that is a very good idea, and I hope that all the regions have
Already
something
done.
like that.
Yeah, the spreadsheet that I made was actually developed for the Region 1. That's because I was helping to do the tracking when they initially said that the RCs have to start tracking it. So,
Yeah, see,
So
I've already done that with as far as the RC is concerned. And
So I'm going to say this, Carol. Every company that I've ever worked for, if it happened to be for first aid, CPR, HIPAA, I had to take, even though I had those things in my previous company and had the certificate, I had to take them again. The only outside time that doesn't happen is in certain medical fields because of certified professionals. But anytime that I had to do HIPAA, every time I go to a different place, even though I'm still certified, I have to take it again. So when people say, "Hey, I've got this already," this is like you're with a different company.
Yeah.
That's right.
Unfortunately, people use that excuse a lot. Doesn't always apply. So,
Yeah, we heard that a lot when we started this program. Why do I need to take it? I've already taken it through my what's a what company. I said,
Right. Well, SFI did allow at first to use a certification from outside to cover you for 101 and 102, but not for any recertifications.
well, there is a thing that they give you called
Right.
202. I believe it's 201 actually, and that one is actually the European test. If you've taken the European test or a similar test, you get credit and it's put on your Starfleet record, although
Right.
it doesn't count toward Starfleet. You've
I
taken
thought
the
that
time to go
I
out
thought
and get
that
it.
covered the need for 101 and 102.
No.
Because a new person coming in right now, if I understand right, if like a new CO is,
Mm-hmm.
you get, you have to take 101, 102, and the most recent recertification, right?
no.
Yeah, a new commanding
If you're
officer.
brand new, you only take 101 or 102. That's why she said that they updated 101.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The reason why is you're only going to take the 101 or 102 and the year that you are recertified. So you're not going to take last year's recertification
Right.
if you're new. So it's whatever you're. So say you started a chapter a year ago, you're going to take this 222 to 223, not the 221 to 222.
Right. But if you just started the chapter, you still have to take 101 and 102 if you haven't taken them before.
Right.
Yes, John disappeared.
Well, not exactly. I got tired of looking at his headset.
The sleepies.
Uh-huh.
He's had the sleepies.
So he's in the green room. But yeah, we're not saying retake. We're saying that if a new person takes it, all they're going to be taking is 101 and 102 right now.
Also, COs, if you want someone to learn so that you can bring them up in rank, point it out. Make sure they're aware. They only have to do the 101 and 102 if it's the first time through it. COs and XOs should quickly be able to inform them of that.
And there is something called burnout, preparing for the next group where you can take a step back and say, hey, the XO needs a break. Would you like to be the XO while they're doing it? If you have people, already certified, you can easily change a CO or an XO to cover that time.
You know, you just go up and say, "Hey, I need a new victim. I mean, volunteer to take this job."
Victim is the right word.
Absolutely. Say, I can introduce you to some of the greatest people in the world, but they're going to tell you the name is still yours. It doesn't matter.
I've got to admit, I don't know how the people who've been CO for like 10 years ever do it.
You know, some people are actually cut out for that kind of pressure.
Hasn't Steve been for like 30 years or something? He said?
Yeah, it's something
He's
ridiculous.
only 35.
No. Steve's isn't that long. I think he's only like 12 or 15 years or something.
Right.
But they're definitely people with like very long periods of time of being captain of a certain ship.
Yeah, Steve's one of them because I was on the Constellation for a while, and there's it's funny. the crew manual doesn't even have anything in there where you can reelect someone for CO.
The other thing that's pretty cool is if you are working with these people, and say you got say you're over that magic 15 person mark, and you want to build another chapter, you got 5 or 6 people that are in a remote area all
Or
together.
at least a shuttle of your chapter.
If they have that SFDP, then you can look at helping them build a offshoot of your chapter.
There are some people that'll want to join this group for the one purpose of becoming someone in the center seat or even higher. If that's your goal, then it's up to the CO and XO where you sign in to show you it's possible, but you're going to have to work. It's not going to be just handed to you.
So,
Carol, I think Paul was RC for 25 years. If I remember what that number was.
That's still like 20 years longer than I think I could handle it. But
How long was Ruth Lane? How long was she RC for Region 1? Anyone know? I know she's up there.
At least 10 years. Because she was there when I was there, and I had 6 years of being an RC, and she was there when I left. There were several people who were there when I came in and it was still there. Like Paul. Paul was one of my best friends in the region coordinator or the Admiralty Board. We got along very well. And he was always on top of things. He helped, by the way, the International Conference Committee. And he was always at the International Conference. So, but I have received word he may not be able to come to the Florida one next year. So there's going to be a lot of people.
It's a long way for Paul to go, right? It's one side of North America to the other.
Not just one side of North America. He lives in a different country. He lives in Vancouver.
Yeah.
On the island, from what I understand.
Yeah, which is what I was saying. But I mean,
Yeah, I agree
so
with
Richard,
you.
we're going to see you in February, right, in Bartow?
Only if I win the lotto. So
I don't know if I want to go to Tallahassee. Last time I was in Tallahassee, I was married.
Uh-oh.
That would be a reason to avoid.
That's
Anyway.
20
That didn't work out in your benefit.
22 years ago.
That did not work out in your benefit.
And that's like reasonably close to you because that's at least in the same state.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'll give you something. If I ever win the lottery, we'll have an IC over in Europe, and anyone from the U.S. I'll pay to send over.
We'll just take a boat.
I'd love to go back to Europe.
Oh, that's it.
I would settle for having an IC here in Calgary.
The Mayflower and sell back to England.
Which is a lot better for the European people because where we have European, like some of those European ones, we have direct flights from Calgary to them.
So what do you think there, Vampire? We're gonna get an older cruise ship, fix it up, and then everyone from here is just gonna call it the Mayflower and go all the way back to England. Will you meet us at the dock?
Yeah.
Have our own Trek cruise as the sort.
Hey, let's see if we can buy the Enterprise.
I understand she's being broken up in Washington State.
Yeah.
She's in Bremerton, but they don't intend to destroy the hull.
That would be fantastic if they could preserve part of it.
Well, no, they already said they're scrapping it. They're pulling the nuclear cores out.
It's the reactor and the absorption walls that are.
I understand that the reactor's already out. It's just that the radioactivity of the hull could be a problem.
Well, there's what they call the absorption wall, which is around the engineering section where the reactor is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Okay. They got to do something with that.
Yeah.
And they don't have a direct fix. Well, it's coming up to where some of these other nuclear carriers are going to retire, like the Nimitz.
Yep.
And that class is going to be retiring out in favor of the Ford class.
Yeah.
So,
They're as they build the next
The Roosevelt
one.
is shortly behind the Nimitz. So
the
Now-
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I didn't know which one was after Nimitz, but
I think
that
it's
would
only
make
the
sense.
Theodore.
yeah, that's the only one that knows is the Theodore Roosevelt.
Enterprise, Theodore Roosevelt, the
Nimitz.
Texas.
Nimitz, Texas is a battleship, isn't she?
Yeah,
Didn't
Texas
they
is a
switch
battleship. No.
But they haven't
Oh,
given the
that
name
was-
to anything yet.
I thought they switched over some
No,
of
no,
those.
no, because
No, it is off. It is off their. The name is available, but I don't think they've done a carrier or a.
But, well, take the
state-
Enterprise. Now the 82 is under construction. They've just
Mhm.
finished laying her base hull.
And then the Doris Miller. After that, so that's one person that
The
should
Miller
get the
after
medal.
that, I
Of
thought they
Honor.
were doing the
Nimitz is a converted carrier. No, it was specialized. I have to disagree with that. Converted carrier. Now, the original Enterprise was a converted carrier,
And
along
the
with Yorktown and Lexington.
Yes.
So,
Who all here's a vet?
Yeah.
Okay, so just two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will just say this. Speaking, I'm considered. Well, I'm 100% disabled vet.
oh,
And I will say this as a veteran. I wish we didn't need them.
It's been said by anyone who's actually seen what we've seen. No one wants peace more than people that have to defend it.
Right. I wish we didn't have a need that we had to have carriers and
yeah.
missiles and all that
Yes.
stuff.
But I do wish that they would understand that the easiest way to get rid of that need is to increase the need for the history of what they did
Hmm.
instead of chopping it up and saying it's useless.
Right.
Right. Agreed. Nimitz has its own historical value, just as Enterprise did, and as all the others come around, you may want to consider making them museum ships somehow.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to get rid of that nuclear core, but have it
The newer
converted into-
carriers are more. Starting with Nimitz, they were a little more cautious, so they're not going to have as bad a problem with the
Mhm.
cores. Since Nimitz was a first shot, it's kind of like the Nautilus. The Nautilus was a pain in the backside to try to isolate the core and get it out of there.
So the Nimitz was originally an attack, plotted to be an attack carrier,
Yes.
and then just switched over. They switched it as it was still being built to the multi-mission.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody followed the I call it a saga, but it's not, the problems with the USS the Sullivans in Buffalo? It sunk while it's a museum ship. It started sinking.
Kind of like
Because it
Texas
rusted.
is doing.
Just like the Texas, but this actually happened.
The Texas
It
has been,
started to sink.
yes, but the Texas
Yeah.
has been short up before it
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember the Texas is a
So good night, everybody.
good night.
Right.
I'm kind of falling asleep, and I don't want to fall asleep. So peace
Like,
and light.
There's John.
Yeah, he's
Hey,
awake.
John, are you there?
Good morning, John.
Good morning.
We've been up all night waiting for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Narcolepsy is a pain.
That's okay.
No.
You were fine on screen until you started snoring, and Jesse said you gotta.
Sorry
know
about
what?
that.
It wasn't the Enterprise; it was the Ford. Or
What
which
about
one?
the Gerald R. Ford?
The one
The
that
Gerald R. Ford is the new class.
That's
Yeah.
which movie?
Star Trek.
Are you trying to
That
remember
wasn't
what
even a
came
nuclear
after what came after the Nimitz?
Is that one a museum?
Oh, we're talking about
Yeah.
nuclear aircraft carrier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
that are
know.
It's
retired.
in San Francisco.
Hmm.
Now I was
I
listening.
can't remember her name, but the one in the museum ship in San Francisco, well, in Alameda, that was in a Star Trek film.
So
The Ranger.
they said that most likely most of the nuclears will not be museum ships. One, until the newest one, they weren't much different outside of the nuclear reactors as that last class. Not Nimitz, it was the one before it. The difference
Nimitz
is
class.
they changed it in the Nimitz class to the nuclear reactors. So the previous version of the aircraft carrier that's on display had almost the same layout except for the nuclear reactors. So because of those nuclear reactors, it's going to be very hard for them to become museum
If you've
ships.
ever run 4 and aft on a nuclear carrier and then on a conventional, you know damn well those two are incredibly different.
Well, what museum company is going to be able to afford the maintenance on a nuclear aircraft carrier plus the classified?
I still like the fact that
Parts.
all the area that they were collecting the radiation from in the movie, they were actually up against the pipes off the evaporators. Kind of like,
Mhm.
People are so stupid. That's water in and steam out to the cooling system. What's it for? To get water.
And those pipes rust through a lot.
You're a vet, aren't you, John?
What's that?
Rogers?
Oh, me? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm a Navy brat, but that's about it. That's as far as it went. I was too
Yeah,
fat
well.
to join.
Yeah.
You were in law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
So you understand the feeling of we really shouldn't have to have all this shit.
Well, the thing is human nature being what it is, if we want to have a civilized society, we have to have this sort of stuff.
Right.
Although otherwise we degenerate into anarchy and
Well, that's why it's been said so many times that only those that stand to defend peace understand.
sometimes
And-
it's tough to be on the pointy end of the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the
If someone
rate we're
comes to me
going,
with a pointy stick, I'm hitting them with a 357. I'm done.
Let's see.
at the rate we're
Chuck?
going, we'll never get to Gene Roddenberry's vision.
Well, again, Gene's vision was one where everybody was enlightened and worked for everybody's benefit, and it dismissed basic human nature.
Gene wanted mankind. His vision and his hope was that mankind ended up with a clue, not an ego.
Well, I'm going to say this: 90% of the problems we have in the world is not Christianity, it's not organizations, it's the twist of it. The people that put a twist to corrupt. Because if you look at the different ways, a lot of them say the same thing: help others and do no harm.
Mm-hmm.
That was even in my studies of pagan beliefs. back when it was considered the people of the forest was you basically helped others and you didn't harm people.
Do what you will, lest ye harm others.
So Gene Roddenberry's Utopia is basically going back to that saying and actually using it. And in the countries, they call it socialism, they call it this, they call it that, but they forget that a lot of them also call themselves Christian, and they look at it and go, "Oh, it's socialism," and you go, "No, you're never mind." At
They're
that
not
point, I
looking-
just look at them and go, "Okay, I can't argue with that. I'm going over here." So until people realize that to read the whole instruction manual and not one sentence or one word and base everything that you believe off of that one word, Gene's ultimate goal of, hey, help each other, be good to each other, and learn. How hard is that? It's really hard when you argue about what you own.
You gotta buy fresh ideas. Be telling Captain Kirk.
Right now, we've got what? There's enough shipping containers at ports right now that we can ultimately get rid of homelessness in greater America. I'm talking North and South America, just redoing the shipping containers. But we still have people dying on the streets because they can't afford $1,500 for a one-bedroom apartment.
And that's in the cheap parts of town.
Yes, and then you've got banks after someone's done this for a year or two that say, no, your credit's bad. You can't afford $700, $800 for a mortgage. Wait a minute, I've been paying $1,500 for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to get us to that, if you notice, 90% of Star Trek, outside of what the Ferengis had stopped monetary thing. They still worked to help each other, but there was no real monetary gain. So
the absolute base necessities were provided along with a purpose.
Of course, when you have a replicator.
Yep. Well, that's supposedly the event that triggered man's enlightenment, was the ability to, make anything you want, pretty much. Okay, ends homelessness, it ends starvation, it ends all of the fights over resources that mankind has always had difficulty with.
I always had problems with the idea of replicators.
Well, you own two of them.
Well, no. Okay, because what I'm saying is that, in all of the shows and that, they don't really talk about any kind of raw materials that are like broken down and reassembled to create whatever it is that you're creating. And if you think about it in a way, transporter technology is nothing more than a replicator.
Yep.
Mostly. Although the transporters have a quantum resolution and the replicators only have an atomic resolution. So they can recreate all the atoms and everything to make your food, but you need a quantum level to say still have a mind or a spirit or whatever that essence is.
Here's my question.
Right, but they're basically the same thing. You're breaking down one body, that's your raw material, and then you're reassembling it somewhere else from the raw materials, basically.
Here's what I don't get. What happens when you have dinner on the holodeck and then you leave the holodeck? Are you hungry again?
Well, no, because the holodeck is used with the same technology as the replicator.
A massive 3D hologram with the replicator
So-
capabilities.
Essentially, as long as you have mass, as long as you have mass and a transporter that can change the mass into energy, that energy is stored into the replicator and then converted on a cellular level into what you need.
Right. Just like on the transport technology used in Strange New Worlds now. If you notice the very first episode, when they beam down, they leave the ship in uniform, but they beam down in civilian clothes.
Right.
So basically, oh, okay. So basically, if you watch, I think it was Deep Space Nine was where they were, it's either Deep Space Nine or Voyager, where they were taking some of the materials and changing it back to be used for the replicator.
Right.
So think about it. If you're recycling your human waste and everything else, and that gets turned into just basic energy to be converted back to mass, you can basically just pull up to a star or an asteroid belt and go, there's food. Kind of like Janeway's, there's coffee in them nebulas.
That's what those buzzard collectors are for.
The only thing that I don't think works that way is water. Because you need water to make oxygen. So I'm not sure about that. I don't think that they could replicate water.
Take a look at any like Star Trek blueprint for a layout of the ship, and I've never seen on one of the blueprints any kind of an area that's designated for raw materials for replicators.
Well, not that, but there is cetacean on the Galaxy class, at least. Almost the whole ship had water pipe through the whole ship because they actually had dolphins. So,
yeah, it's easy to replicate water.
Huh?
Yeah, Carol Thompson, I'm just quoting Carol, it's easy to replicate water.
Yeah, we can do that now, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can. I mean, and it's shown how to do it to create condensation, and that what was the movie where the guy got left behind on Mars?
The Martian.
Oh yeah, The Martian.
Martian. Yeah, it's the same technique as what's shown in there. Of course, you don't want to set your hair on fire the first time you try to fire it up, but
Well, as long as nobody's looking.
Don't you on this
Happens. Yes, Arlene, I agree.
Now, the thing of it is with that they had the raw materials as oxygen and hydrogen built into the canisters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was no. I'm talking about The Martian.
Well, yeah, I know. I was just you asked me if I had that book.
Oh, okay. But in The Martian, they had the canisters. If you look on the outside, that would have been storage of basic oxygen, and then they were growing plants to renovate that. So yeah, you don't have the water necessarily as water, but the chemicals combined recreated the water from the pressurized canisters. So you're still carrying water. It's just now it's hydrogen and oxygen instead of the heavier mass.
Yeah. Another thing I don't see on schematics a lot is like O2 scrubbers.
Well, the other thing with that is submarines don't necessarily haven't always used O2 scrubbers. They used candles, or what they called candles. There's a thing that's about this big, and once every 24 hours, they light this candle in a certain part of the ship, and it converts the hydrogen to oxygen. They've had that technology for years. Now, you don't want to light it in the wrong spot in the ship, though, because oxygen is very flammable.
Well,
But
oxygen itself is not flammable. It's an accelerant. It makes everything around it flammable.
pure oxygen go boom.
Yeah, because it reacts with the things around it. In and of itself, oxygen doesn't burn. I did that in science class in 8th grade.
It basically feeds it. Take it away, it stops.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I saw it on YouTube. The one guy went on one of the submarines, and they were down there for like 24 hours. And one of the things was because they weren't surfacing, they actually pulled out the candles and they showed the use of the candles. And it's a container that's about this size, and they pop the top off, pop the bottom off, light it, and put it in like looks like a trough almost. And it actually burns, and they actually showed the readings for oxygen, and as soon as they started that lighting, it jumped from like, I think they were down to like 50% oxygen, and it bumped it back up to 80 almost instantly in the area.
And that's because hydrogen and methane build very quickly. And
Yeah. So there are other options other than just containers of oxygen in plants that can replicate it. But the best way is to make that natural biome that's going to recycle the water and the oxygen and hydrogen. But you have to have the right balance, because if you have too many plants and not enough organisms to take the oxygen away, the plants are going to die. So you need that balance.
which is one of the reasons why they cycle it through water.
So we are almost to 2 hours, and I got a little bit of a drive in front of me, but the one announcement is in the near future there will be a Afterdark specific Facebook page, and spacedock.earth will be the running organism, but we will be having a lot more offerings through the After Dark brand. So please stay tuned, and you'll be seeing it in a lot of different places. And thanks, Arlene. The one thing that we want to do is expand it and make sure that we have interesting topics. So it won't be the same thing every week or every time we do a show, and we want to get more people on it. So if you get a chance, like I said, check out MC Spill, SPIL, on YouTube, and go like her, watch and like her little advertising video for Starfleet. And anybody that's got something similar to that, let us know. Send us a message. You can do stuff like that because it would be great to actually highlight a bunch of the different talented people in Starfleet. So, anything before we go, guys?
Nope.
No.
I'll have to look that up.
Everyone volunteer for the VIC.
Oh yeah. If we need moderators, and if you have anything to donate, go to SFI dash no VIC-SFI.com. Nope, that's not it.
Wrong one. It's at the top.
There we go. And they are looking for moderators for the 12th and 13th. And Arlene, is she in Region 5? And send that message. Sorry, I'm trying to read. That's the one. She's listed under MC Spill.
I just found it, and I intend to watch it after we finish here.
Oh, awesome. Please tell her we said hi. I commented on her video, and we've been talking about it tonight.
Yes.
We won't forget anybody. So, but yeah, please let her know we really enjoyed it, and if she wants to join us the next show to talk about how she created it, it'd be a great thing. So, okay, so thank you all. Like I said, August 12th and 13th is our VIC. So, till then, until our next show on the second, July, the 4th week. It might be our After Dark. That might be our next show. So, till our next show on the second week of August, live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.
Mm-hmm.